Hey everybody, it is Earth Day, so why not do a little garden tour of what we have growing right now? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I planted some seeds today for Earth Day, and they should grow. Here's hoping anyway. But I'm out here in this beautiful little garden area. Yeah, I think it's just amazing. I love watching things grow from seed, and there's something about it. It's nice. But let's get this, I guess, official garden tour started. It is looking a little dry, but that's because I just did it. I planted some Kakuzi squash through here because I wanted to trellis up this fence. And then we walk down here, and I have pole beans. Now these are different varieties. I think these are supposed to be yard-long beans. And then I should have some Kentucky Wonder pole beans or something like that. And then underneath the hay, the straw, whatever, leaves and stuff, which I'm going to plant some more, they call them white-acre peas here in the South. And then we'll flip it around this way. And these are green beans through here. And last year I planted this time. It might take over, whatever. But in between these rows, let's see if you can, let me just get this way. So that row, and in between that one, and then in between that one, you can actually see a couple of them coming up. Like I said, I have to go get some more peas. But there's white-acre peas in between the rows of beans. Not this one, not this middle one. So yeah, that way, you know, I could get the white-acre peas, reach the beans, and call it a day. Right here, it's just, you can't hardly tell what beds are what unless there's a little bit of mulch. I'm just trying to build up my soil and work with my soil. But we have a mixture of things in this bed. This is one of my favorite ones just because of the mix that's in it. But there's peppers, Swiss chard, wild petunias in the back, and then right there, that is leeks in this bed. See how pretty? In the bed here, like I said, you can't hardly see it, but there's peppers all in this bed. And then right here and right there, that's basil. Don't ask me what I was doing right here. This is supposed to be Everglade tomatoes. So here in Florida, they're supposed to do really well. I know they are close together. I just had to throw them somewhere, and right here is where they landed. Right here is a bitter melon. I have to get my little trellis out here to trellis it up. I can see the little tendril or whatever it's called coming on that one and this one too. But I have them like that, and I have to put a little trellis up so they can come up. And then here, as you can see, a lot of this stuff is just a more natural looking garden. But here I've got some peppers that go down this bed. I've got cilantro on the side, and this is echinacea that's growing right here. And then let's see, right here, so I have cilantro, and then I have some purple basil or dark opal basil, whatever it's called. And then of course more peppers, one little basil, another little basil, and that's that bed. Oh, smell that basil. Now this bed, I do have to come in and clean it. This is different squash varieties that will need to trellis up. And then there's this passion flower coming up in between my squash. Here's one. And then over here, this little squash, which we need to come in here and weed. But yeah, another passion flower. So with this bed, we will have a trellis built so that these can climb up the trellis, and the passion flower can climb up that trellis too. And then over here, this is a major pepper bed. The little peppers are finally starting to kick it in gear, and I can see a lot of new growth on them, and the height is looking better with these as well. We also have basil right here. And yes, I just kind of threw some stuff in here. And then back here, we're building up beds, and there's tomatoes. This is a tomato. I'm not sure what kind. This is cayenne. And it's crazy, another tomato. I'm not even sure where that came from. But in this little area right here, we have, I call them volunteer sunflowers, and you can see where the sun's pointing because they are turned in that general direction. But these just came up. The sunflowers just came up. Now the tomatoes I just kind of threw in here. So I've got to come in and put in some more mulch. Don't ask. I just threw in some glass gem corn in this little area right there. That is our chicory. She's doing quite nicely. And a one lone little squash or something. Sweet dumpling squash. I kept the cup here just so I would know what it was. My dog passed away back in November, and I put her in my garden because she was always with me while I was out here gardening. So we put her in the garden, and I have a roselle growing beside her. I have a whatever tomato plants thrown into that bed. And I do have some of these that are marked. Some of them I can't read the tags. That was my bad. I did not use the UV pen or marker or whatever it was. So I can tell you whenever the tomato grows what it was. Now I do have them written down as to the varieties that I did try to plant this year. But all in all, they're looking really well. Now in between the rows, there's supposed to be some peas in between the rows. I just kind of threw the peas out here. Hasn't done anything cool, whatever. So we'll move it this way. And I had to come through, you can see, I just kind of like messed up the soil some here. It's not looking too hot right now, but I'm going to come through with some mulch and compost and put it in this bed right here. But it's okra. I just planted some more okra. And down here, I had found some ground cherries that I planted. I don't know why I misplaced them, but I did. So that's what that is right there. And these little green plants right here, that's ground cherries. This is supposed to be a sunflower patch that's really not looking too hot. This is the area that I'm having a lot of problems with. So you can see that the sunflowers are just not doing all that well. So I'm gonna come through here and heavily compost and mulch this area and this area. This is like pencil garlic. It has not done anything. I fertilized it, I did mulch around it, and it's just, it is what it is right now. This bed has done pretty good growing tomatillos last year, and now again this year. There's Harmony. Hey Harmony. And then this is Bells of Ireland that I planted, and it's doing really good too. And I think this is Cosmos right here. They honestly look like little weeds. And then we have this bed. This was my brassica bed last year. So this year, I put in some corn and lima beans just to help with the nitrogen. But that's my corn. And then I've got some onions still kind of growing a little bit. So hopefully they won't bolt. Hopefully they'll get some bigger bulbs on them, but who knows? It is what it is. I've already pulled my onion beds. And then we walk over here. I've got to come in and pull some weeds through here. But this is a volunteer sunflower. And then I have some cucumbers growing. I think these are my pickling cucumbers. They might be, I'm not real sure. I know that on one side I have pickling and the other side I have the slicing cucumbers. And again, just volunteer sunflowers coming up, which is really cool. Little petunias. And I just, this side, or the middle part, I left alone because I'm growing cucumbers on both sides. I wanted to be able to reach this side and reach that side because I can get the outside, you know, on the outside. And then close beside it, we have all these strawberries, which I honestly will probably move the strawberries once they're done, I guess, producing their little fruits and stuff. I don't know. I think I'm still gonna move them to a different area. Back here, that's a lot of weeds that I need to come through and take care of. But that is like my zinnia bed back there, and it's got some sunflowers in there too. And I think I've got dill and marigolds. I should have some dahlias like on that side, and then I've got peppers, I've got Tabasco there, and a stevia plant on that side, and then there is a Tabasco plant on the other side as well. This little area here, I'm going to come through and put some compost in now that the nasturtiums and the calendula has come up. But this calendula right here, this little flower, has about run its little course. But I'm hoping to collect some seeds off of these this year, but I also want to save the flowers as well so that I can make, you know, some salves and stuff like that with the calendula. But the nasturtiums, I used to have like this pool bed right here, so I planted the nasturtiums and the calendula like in the middle, and then the nasturtiums around the outside of it. This is my little herb bed, but right here I had planted some arugula. We did not eat all of it, so now of course it is bolting. That is okay. I will save the seeds from that. I've got sweet mint here, lemon balm here. I do have some peppers in this bed as well, along with Egyptian walking onions. And we will walk this way. There's some, oh man, that time's looking kind of rough, but that's what that is. That's thyme. And I need to come through, and like I said, I've got to weed this bed. It's just so tedious though. Bruh, trying to record a video, harm. So anyway, down here, that is chamomile, and then over there I've got some sage. And honestly, I'm not real sure, but that little piece, I don't know. Let's see. Yep, that's basil coming up right there. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, have to be very careful whenever I'm weeding this bed now. Just gotta smell the weeds, I guess. Ah. And then over here, I think this is amaranth. I think so. I have to go look at my notebook, but I went and bought some Mexican tarragon. Man, this stuff is good. I really do enjoy that flavor. I don't know why, just do. But that's this bed, and of course that's my fish tank in here. My husband chose to do that, and now we have, yeah, an umbrella. Again, his idea. So I don't know if y'all remember this last year, but I had loofahs, and I've got to come through and clean all this crap too. It's just having the time to do it. But that is loofah that's coming up, and I've got a lot more. That's loofah. This is self-seeded marigolds and more loofah. So I mean, it's gonna go along this fence right here. I did want to say this bed right here, where it does have all the weeds, there's a lot of mullein growing and some garlic that I had bought from the farmer's market like 2 years ago, and it just keeps coming back. There's some here, some there, some down there, some over like that way. But that's my mullein. That's my 2-year mullein, and I've got some 1st-year mullein that we're going to save the leaves and stuff from this year too. This was our other onion bed. I've got some patty pan squash growing there, and in the back this is green zucchini. This is like a whitish zucchini. I'll have to get the name for that. I'm not real sure, but it came from Baker Creek. This on this side right here, this is yellow squash, like crookneck squash, early summer squash, whatever you want to call it. So we just decided to kind of repurpose this bed and stick these in there. So when I had the onions planted in here, I had them in here, then I put the squash in between, had another row of onions, squash in between, so on and so forth. So now that I know where everything is at in this bed, This is a funky looking area. So we planted some cassava. There's a cassava there. This is a pussy willow tree. I have cassava here and cassava here. So I think that's what that is. Coming up is that. So now that I know where all of that's at, I can actually get in here and cut this and clean it all up. And then we can walk this way. This is a lime tree. I planted roselle here. This is elderberry. We have apple here, which if this variety is not going to do anything here, like I see the buds on it, but if it's not going to do anything here, we're going to have to just pull it up and go. That's right. So we have roselle there. Something is coming and taking all of my like compost. I don't know what it is. More elderberry. And I planted some roselle seeds there. This is another apple tree with comfrey. And this crazy tomato plant that just showed up out of nowhere. And also we have okra. And then I actually marked this one with a stick, but this is more roselle. And another apple, more comfrey. And I thought that I had another okra here, but it looks like that got decimated by something. Hello, Bob. That was Bob. Of course, another apple, comfrey. So what I did is I planted comfrey beside all of my apple trees. As you can see there, the chickens love it. But again, where the apple blossoms are pretty, if this apple tree variety is not going to do anything here in Florida where we're at, then we're just not gonna keep. Now walking closer to the woods, I have a lemon tree here. And then over here by my little burn pile, I have another, some kind of citrus. I'm not sure, just something I dug up from someone else's house or duck's pool. We have a peach tree. You can see that's a fig. I call them no idea figs because I have no idea what kind they are. Probably the turkey tail, whatever fig they are called, I don't know. But this is peaches. We have a pineapple guava right here. She's getting bigger. I can see the new growth on her. Hello, Meg. And yes, we have a lot of cats. And yes, they are all fixed, all vaccinated. Most of them have been chipped. That's what we do here. We don't keep unfixed animals. We don't like it. So, but let's get back to it. We have another peach tree. We planted the peach trees last year, so I guess they needed time to get established. So we're only getting like a few peaches this year. More fig trees. They were here when we moved here. This is an orange tree. And then over here, this one's not doing too hot. Trying to figure out what's going on with it. This is a lime and lemon tree. Of course, I bought them from Walmart, so might have something to do with it. I don't know. These are blueberries. That blueberry was bought from Walmart, which is called a rabbit eye. This is a rabbit eye. This was bought from another farm, local farm. So the figs are looking pretty good. There's one growing there. There's a lot actually on this entire tree, so we'll hopefully be in good figs this year. Now I have to come over here and clean up, but I planted some watermelons over here. These are tender sweet orange watermelons. There's one there, and one there. And then right here I planted more roselle seeds. Those are not looking too hot. I planted some corn over here. Who knows if it's gonna do anything? I don't know. I don't care. I'm gonna try it. But this is my jubilees. Maybe they'll do something. And my sad looking persimmon. Cold got to it. Over here, I have a football mark in it. This is a Mexican sunflower, so I can't wait to see what this beauty is gonna do. So yeah, that is the garden and trees and all that good stuff. We do have grapes and stuff growing too. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little farm tour, or garden tour. That is the first garden tour of probably many that we're going to do, or that I will do, because it's mainly me anyway. But yeah, it's all looking really good, and I cannot wait to see what we harvest out of this garden this year. So yeah, man, happy gardening, friends. See y'all on the next one.